God says, Holler Me Outdoors. Today we're going to take you over there.
What do you think?
Tractor.
Tractors, what you think? We got our deer. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
You guys never cut one up before, huh?
Nope. The deer's on the tractor's bucket.
Yeah, that makes your whole day right there, doesn't it? Yes. Alright, guys. It's November 1st. We just hit good legal light. I'm all set up. I'm about 80, 90 yards from where I filmed the Pearl Snap video. I've had a buck skirt me a couple times down here. So the benefit of hunting from a stool on the ground is you're mobile. I moved it last night. Came in, broke off some shooting lanes this morning. It's really tight. There probably won't be a shot over 10, 15 yards. So if anything comes by, it'll be right on top of us. They're chasing. There was actually a buck standing in the middle of the driveway to the field access where I parked. He was literally standing in the middle of the gravel where I parked at when I got here. Like 2.5-year-old deer, 8-point rack into the body. He's not what we're after. But it was nice to see it. Let's see how the morning goes. Alright, that little buck came in and left. And it's been about 40 minutes. I got like 5 deer running circles down here. A buck I've only seen in glimpses. And a bunch of does around. Sit tight and see if he'll come by. shot over that doe, like right over. That's the second deer. That was at very close range. That my arrows flung completely over. In the last 9 days. I might have bumped my 0 the other day. I'm gonna definitely check it before I go out this evening. Depressing. I don't miss chip shots. Alright, y'all. I'm gonna finish this smoke. I'm gonna get up. Walk over about 15 yards. 10 yards maybe. See if I can find my arrow. I played the footage back. She definitely jumped the string. The vantage point from the camera, because it said so high. Over the arrow sometimes looks janky, and I really don't like the way the 10-point lighted nocks work. I'm not going to use them next year. I got squirrels playing all around me. I'll go back, double check my 0 before I come out this afternoon. Early dose is definitely in. There was a frost I scraped off my windshield this morning. Bugs are cruising. And I'm fairly certain what sent that one scooting by me was a buck chasing a group of does around on the other side of this bottom. I'll back up, get my estrus down. It was a swing and a miss, but I would much rather miss than shoot one bad. So I'll take that. It's part of the game when you're hunting from the ground. Usually you can't aim at the low vitals because there's stuff in the way. Arrows don't break brush. But her reaction time was epic. She quick. Put her in the Olympics. Head out. Check up with Kathy and Bobo. Baby P. Go to my evening set. Alright guys. It is 2:45. November 1st. I showed you guys where I swung and missed at like 15 yards this morning in Knox. At my sister-in-law's place, my brother's house. Bucks were cruising, pushing does around. That one about ran me over. And I whiffed her like I whiffed her like a t-ball game. Swing and a miss. But I'm at my stepdad's. I had a very close encounter with a buck here last week. And I'm set up about 80 yards from where I had the encounter with him last week. On the trail I figured he used to get to me. I have a cut bean field Hard to my left, about 60 yards away, I have a cut bean field dead behind me. This is where I'm tucked up behind. I found me a good old blowdown. But there's a cut bean field on the other side of this small creek. I'll step over here. You can see it out there. Move all this. Make all this noise now so I could get up over here and walk this way if I have to. If you hunt from the ground, make your noise when you get there. Sit down. Push out a big area of dirt, everywhere you think you want to move to. Get you a place where you can make no noise when you gotta do what you gotta do. I'm gonna flip the camera around, give you a view of what I'm seeing, and hopefully there's a big guy cruising through here. I got a couple scent wicks out with code red. It was the best I could get my hands on. I'm out of lighted knocks. Don't like 10 points lighted knocks, by the way. I've lost more arrows with lighted knocks on them than I ever have without. Don't believe I'll be using those again next year. I checked my zero, and I was shooting about 3 inches higher at 20 yards than I wanted to be. Hunting from the ground, you generally don't get to take much hard shots anyway, because there's usually vegetation in the way, so you're usually kind of trying to punch them in the high lungs as it is. So it doesn't take much for them to jump the string. That one was fast. That one was real fast this morning. Boy, she lucky. She probably like, y'all see that motherfucker in a Burger King crown? Who put that guy in the green plaid shirt out there? What the hell was that? Everybody back at the herd thinks she crazy. There ain't nobody out there that think it was a Burger King crown. You full of it. But I'll spin the camera around here. I'll show you what my view is for tonight. And then I'll set it down. And hopefully we could draw something off the edge of this cornfield, or something comes through this tree line. It's a travel corridor. Stuff will hang up here and stage just before dark. Go out and feed in those fields. So, just hoping to catch something on the cruise. There is a couple scrapes. There's like 6 scrapes over there within 40 yards of me. There's another couple scrapes over there. So it's not just sitting blind. I have an idea. Even though I have not sat on this farm but once in the last 10 years. They're still running the same old trails. And other than me out here with one encounter with one buck last week, they have no pressure here. My brother's place is way more pressured. Way more. The neighbors pressure my brother's place. My brother pressures it. I pressure it hard when I am hunting it. I'm kind of glad I missed that one this morning though, because that would have been my third Knox County tag, and then I wouldn't have been able to hunt that farm anymore this year. So as soon as I let that arrow go, I was like, why'd I do that? There are so many bugs. Rut hasn't even fully started. Still got gun season, and that's like the only place I go and hunt. I got no business shooting another doe out there this early in the season. I'm shutting Knox County off. At the end of the day, I hunt to fill the freezer. So I'm very happy with swinging and missing on that one. Like a fat kid at a t-ball game, I struck out. Need to start bringing snacks. Didn't bring my chair. I'll show you what I'm sitting on. Alright, I'll check it later. Make a big place to walk. There's the cut bean field. That's a little staging area. We'll check before they go. There's a bunch of scrapes over there. There's a couple scrapes over there. Corn over there. It's 29 yards away. I believe I'll range it again. I got a new battery. My stepdad had a battery that fit my rangefinder, because somehow he's got one or two of everything, always. The most random battery, he has one. He's always got everything you're looking for. Might not know where it is, but he's got one. There's a cut field behind us. There won't be no shooting through that. About the worst thing that can happen is a big 160 or 180 comes right through there, and I can see him, and I can't send one through there with a prayer. Just wave goodbye, buddy. But I can walk all the way over here and look if I want. I've hunted this farm in a very long time, once in like 10 years. And I don't believe I've ever actually set at this spot right here. I used to sit over there on the edge of that field where it meets the little patch woods when I hunted this. But there's a lot of traffic on these trails right here. So we'll see what happens when we get daylight. Well, I got one at 3:35-ish this afternoon. Like this. You can't smoke, you can't sit on the ground, you can't miss, recock, and shoot again. You can't have more come in on you after you do all that. I'm not very happy with this. I've noticed since I've been running this camera, my arrows are flying very high. I don't like it. I'm going to do some very in-depth testing with it tomorrow. And I think this Tacticam's over for the year. If I prove what I think is happening is happening. We'll have to change our setup here. Because I can't be having random high flyers on a bow that's been amazing for years. That's not how we're going to operate here. And I don't like non-perfectly shot deer. So, we'll see tomorrow. But we got one. Okay, guys. Even though it's prime time right now, I'm headed to the young doe I shot. I ended up seeing about 15 or 20 deer. I had this doe's mother inside of 15 yards, 12 yards. And I didn't have another tag in my possession, so there wasn't a whole lot I could do about it. But as I was transferring the footage, I couldn't film it either because I tried to, but I had the Wi-Fi on the Tacticam, and I was transferring the footage to see the impact of the deer I did harvest. And it didn't make sense. So I cut the blood trail, I followed the blood trail. I ended up tracking this thing, who left a great blood trail with these Rage hypodermics today, the crossbow version, on a very bad hit. It did a number on her. She was hit left and right exactly where you want to. But my vertical has been off. The only shot I've taken and connected on before this one was that one the other day at like maybe 8 yards, and it hit a lot higher than I was aiming, but it was 8 yards and she was super smoked. Well, I got to range this deer. That's what the erratic camera is between missing her, cocking, reloading, picking up my rangefinder when she does her little loop and stops to look at me again, ranging her and shooting her. I had a range, and it was within 2 yards of one of my dots in my reticle. So I held it with the dot in the middle of the vitals, giving me roughly 4 inches either direction. And that arrow went 10 or 12 inches high. But the Rage, a Schwacker would have not given me a trackable trail off of that hit at all. A Schwacker would have probably looked like a miss. The hypodermic hurt that deer. It hurt it enough that I read the sign and decided to follow it right away. And I went through this standing corn for quite a ways, and I kept getting her up, and then she wouldn't let me get close enough that I felt comfortable putting another one into her. until I finally walked up on her and got it taken care of. She was only going 50, 60 yards and laying down. And then she was going 20, 30 yards and laying down. When I checked my zero today, I didn't think about it. I take the Tacticam off the bow when I'm coming out of the woods. You know, because it's a rather expensive rig. You know, there's $400 there. And you don't want to scratch up the lens, so you put it on when you get there. When I checked my zero was on. My zero was not on with the Tacticam on, mounted. So I'm starting to wonder if the mount for the Tacticam is pushing my front ocular bell down as I tighten it, making my arrows go high. I'm going to test this tomorrow, and if that is the case, the way the Tacticam mounts to the scope bell, if that is the case, then we are done with that. And the little the young deer I shot on opening day with the Tacticam, it got hit higher than I was aiming, but I was also shooting uphill, and those deer weren't ranged. So I figured it was within the margin of error. But now I'm really starting to think, after I whiffed a buck inside 15 yards last week, Luminok flew clean over its back as it stood broadside inside 15 yards, clean over its back by a foot. Whiffed a doe this morning, well under 20 yards. Shot over this one, reloaded, ranged it, shot, and should have shot over it again, but got lucky. Not so lucky. I got lucky in finding it. I should have zeroed with it on, but it mounts in such a janky way that you never be able to apply the same amount of pressure to it twice. So I need to get it hooked up with a scope that my FTS system will appreciate, or I need to securely mount the camera to the crossbow, not on my ocular housing. One of those two is the answer. Tomorrow, I'm going to test this, and I'll let you know the answer. Grandpa John does things the easy way. They don't mess around with this dragon stuff. Get you, Grandpa John.